Thank you for tuning in to episode number 19 of the Co-Courtside podcast. Happy to be here with creator of Knicks Fan TV, CP The Fanchise. What's up, CP? How are we doing today?
Good, Alex, man. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate you for taking the time to do this. I know you're busy, especially with the season about to start. I'm happy we kind of did this now. Obviously, what's transpired this past weekend with the cat trade and everything that's gone on. You want to talk to me about that a little bit?
Major trade, man. It seems like the Knicks certainly had the best offseason in the NBA, and they never stopped working. I think Leon Rose and company have sent a clear signal to New York that they're ready to compete, and they feel like they can truly contend for a championship, but they had to make their tweaks. They went out there and got Mikal Bridges to add to OG Anunoby in their wing tandem, and then getting Karl Anthony Towns, I think, number one, they get one of the best shooting big men in the game, a 40% three-point shooter, someone who's going to space the floor and open things up for Jalen Brunson. I think those two will also have a prolific 1-2 punch. And so, with that trade, I think the Knicks are setting themselves up to truly be a contender for years to come. Unfortunately for the Knicks, look, Julius Randle, we definitely thank him for his service and setting a tone here. Dante DiVincenzo was excellent for this team last year. Probably top 2 3-point shooters last year next to Steph Curry. So, but, in this business, you have to pay to play, and the Knicks are certainly taking a gamble here.
Yeah, it sucks because especially as a fan of your sports team, you get emotional and you get tied into it. Losing DiVincenzo, one of the Nova Knicks. Obviously, Randall's done a lot for the team the past couple of years, but I think, in my opinion, it is best for them to move on and contend with teams like Boston and Philly.
I mean, it's part of the business. It's tough. Like, even as a fan, I remember back in the day, and these teams weren't even all that good. I hated when they traded Jamal Crawford and Zach Randolph.
Yeah, yeah,
Certain things like that. It's tough. I hated when they traded Patrick Ewing. But as you watch the game and see it transpire, see these things transpire, you understand that it's a cold business at the end of the day.
yeah. I just wanted to cover that before we got into all the other stuff because that's what's prevalent right now. But I wanted to talk to you about how we met this past summer at NBA Summer League. You were one of the instructors for Sports Business Classroom. Talk to me about that experience and it being your first year and how are you able to teach the students and in a way give back to them.
Yeah, it was an incredible opportunity that I got from Bobby Marks, man. Just our relationship that has built and been cultivated over the years. And one day he just sent me a text. It's like, hey, let's meet. I have an opportunity that I think you'd be great for. And without even having to hear the details, I was like, let's do it. Let's meet, let's talk about it, and I'm in whatever it is I'm in, because I always love to broaden my horizons, and I figured that this was going to be that type of opportunity. But on the flip side, I also love teaching. That's also been like a side passion of mine. I did have some teaching experience back when I was going into grad school, and so to put the two together, for him to approach me to talk to ask me to teach the students at Sports Business Classroom on the media and broadcasting side, and to be able to share my experience, and at the same time to be able to learn from veterans in the game like Howard Beck and J.A. Adonde and Katie Mendel. It was a tremendous opportunity.
Yeah, you talked about Howard and those guys from the time I saw, you guys being at the studio with the media and broadcast students, like you guys really enjoyed, teaching them and really wants to give them advice and feedback. And I think that goes a long way for the students, knowing that there's instructors that, really want to help them out.
It
Um,
was it was amazing, man. Just that whole week was just so rewarding for me. Again, to give back, to help out, meeting you guys and being behind the scenes with you and Ryan Gentry running the
yeah,
show, working with your production crew on the podcast set. That was a whole lot of fun for me, man. I had never
yeah,
done something like that before, so I certainly took it seriously. But I had a lot of fun and really appreciate more from the production standpoint what you guys were doing there.
for sure. No, Summer League, it was my second year and there's nothing like it in terms of meeting people and building connections and stuff. So hopefully we can do the same thing next year. I want to talk to you about, your platform and Knicks Fan TV that you started. Talk to me about the creation behind that and in a way being like one of the main voices for Knicks fans and how you've gone along these past couple of years.
Yeah, I just saw white space in terms of Knicks media and coverage where it wasn't enough fan opinions being heard and being seen, from the national level and ESPN. Well, look, the team wasn't great. And so a lot of it was based on the recent scandal or any hot topic issues around the Knicks, but nothing in the in between. And so I just knew that being a diehard Knicks fan myself and a lifelong New Yorker, I know how passionate we are about sports, and that given the opportunity to create a platform, I knew that people will come, right, from Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And I had the conviction that they would, as long as we just continue to work on our craft, increased our production, brought on special talent, both behind the camera and in front of the camera, that I knew it would grow. So we are in our 8th year now. We are, at the time of this interview, at roughly, I think, 83,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 200,000 followers across social media. And it's just been a lot of fun just building a community of Knicks fans to come together and debate, have fun, and just talk about the team.
Did you know that, going into it and creating it, that New York and Knicks fans, like, they're going to call you on your bullshit. They're different than the other sports, like, fan base. You have to have a different creative spin and different type of way you go about your content.
Smartest fans in the world, man. Smartest fans in the world. And so I always knew that because I was one. And so it kind of gives you an advantage because you know that, like, the guy sitting at the studio with a suit on doesn't make him any smarter on the Knicks than you do. A lot of times those guys get exposed for their lack of knowledge and their lack of preparation when it comes to the team. And so that's another reason why the fans come to our platform, because we are informed. We are them. We're sitting in those fan seats. So, that's the thing. Like, I always come to the defense of our fan base, even when they are negative when it comes to players and things of that nature, because, they are the lifeblood of the sport. They are a crucial part of that ecosystem. They're the investors of the sport. So I'm always going to take the fan side on a lot of things.
My last interview was actually with Dexter Henry, a guy I met at Summer League, and I know you have a good relationship with him. And he used you as an example as a guy that really, stuck with your idea of content creating, and, you're not going to see the results quickly at first, but how important is it to stick with it and then eventually know that it'll all pay off if you put in the work?
Consistency will reveal your passion for what you're doing, because if you're not consistent, then your heart's just not in it. I think that's just the reality. And so with consistency, you're also going to learn, because when you keep doing things, when you keep getting reps, you keep doing podcasts, or you keep editing videos, you're going to improve over time. Just naturally, you're going to improve. And so that's what I've always, that was the core of me building this thing, was that I wasn't going to put it down. I refused to put it down. Like, this was going to be a vision and a process that I'm going to see through to the end. And that has really carried me. But it all goes back to the fans, man. Like, without having that audience to support you, you're never going to grow. And the key thing is that you shouldn't look to amass this great following, right? It's not about the numbers. It's more about the quality of your community, the quality of your fan base. We have people over the years, we have regular callers, regular viewers. When I go live streaming, and there might be 5,000 people watching, but in the chat, I'm seeing the same names, the same guys that are with me night in and night out. Those are your loyal followers. That is your loyal group. And those are the people who you need to continue to cultivate a relationship with, because they're going to support you year in and year out.
And look, it's kind of funny how it's paid off. You started this when the Knicks were one of the worst teams in the league, and now you said you're on year 8. The Knicks are one of, a title contender. Is that funny in a way, how it's kind of panned out to the same, level?
Yeah, it's like a buy low strategy and invest. Right. So we started this thing, and it was when the team was terrible. I always make the joke 17-65, but I was here for all 82 games despite that. And God knows what we were talking about. But again, the consistency and the passion was there. So to see the platform improving and increasing in viewership, increasing in popularity as the team is, it's a beautiful feeling, because it's kind of like, both entities put in the blood, sweat, and tears to get to where they are, or to keep going on an upward trajectory. So it's a great opportunity to be able to do that alongside of them.
And you talk about how, you see all the viewers, when you do the streams, you brought them some incredible guests, people that you met along the way. How cool is that to you? And then what have you learned from, people in all those respective fields that you met?
It's tremendous, man. I always look at it as I want to bring value to the platform. I want to bring value to you, who's the fan, who's the viewer. So again, having the advantage of being a fan, I can kind of look at it from both perspectives. Like, here's a person I would love to hear from. Here's the stories that I would love to hear about. Here's what, I would love to learn. And so it's been great, man. Just the amount of players, the analysts, the former GMs that we brought on, including Bobby Marks. Again, as a fan, I'm asking questions as a fan as well. And so I
Yeah.
learned a tremendous amount. I've learned a tremendous amount about the game, about the business behind the game, just by speaking to the people that are who actually live it. And so, I'm just lucky to be able to form those relationships and continue to do so.
And that has allowed you to, go on platforms like Sirius XM, SNY, building your interviewing skills like you mentioned before. How did that come about? And it's always just kind of, perfecting your craft and wanting to improve on things.
With the relationships that you build up over time, like those opportunities will just come. And that's how it's been, man. From, doing an 8-week segment with Max Kellerman on ESPN, or to do Sirius XM on NBA radio, to do WFAN 660, that my childhood dream to be able to host a show there. It's just by doing the work. A lot of times those opportunities will find you when you do quality work and you continue to cultivate relationships, man. So, those opportunities, I've been blessed to have those opportunities. I never saw that even in building this. Like, I
Mhm.
never really envisioned that I'd be able to kind of branch out into those areas. So with that, I've taken full advantage of that and make sure that I'm learning from those people, learning from those experiences to come bring it back to Knicks Fan TV and make it even better.
How did that Kellerman segment start? Because I've seen the clips on YouTube, and he's one of the more respected guys in the industry.
Yeah, so it started when the fans were always tired of his act on First Take, being the
Yeah.
anti-Knicks fan and always trashing the team. And it really played right into the storyline and our brand in terms of being for the fans. We are for the fans, by the fans movement. And so the first episode we did, it was just going to be like a debate, like the Knicks fan versus the anti-fan, and it went viral. It went crazy. Knicks fans were going so crazy on it that they put it up on the ESPN YouTube. We put it up on ours, and this thing just took off and gained legs. But at the end of it, he says he asked me, "Hey, you want to come back next week?" I was like, "Oh, all right, no doubt,
Sure,
let's
man.
go." So like for the first like 4 weeks, it was just this Knicks fan anti-fan debate. And then we started branching out because at that same time the NBA playoffs were starting. So then we started branching out and speaking on the league at large. And at that point, I was there as a regular, just speaking on Knicks, speaking on NBA hot topics. And it was a tremendous opportunity, but it was one that he gave me. That's something that I'll,
Mm.
I'll never forget. Even in the backdrop, as fans see it as, an adversarial situation, it was really a mentorship. And
Mhm.
he really helped me. He gave me a lot of game. He started as an independent public access television, what that Max Kellerman did. And so it was really a mentorship from there. And he really respected me and my acumen as an NBA analyst. It was a tremendous opportunity.
A guy like Kellerman, because he brought you on for one segment or maybe two, and then going into that, you show that you really know your stuff, and that's allowed you to do other things and branch out. And how important is that? Just kind of knowing your craft and sticking with it.
Yeah, I'm a sponge, man. Whether it's Max Kellerman or my mentor Chuck D, whenever he's spitting game, man, he sends me texts of encouragement, texts of wisdom. I tap into that, man. I read it 3, 4, 5 times, make sure I'm soaking it in and carry it forward, man, because that's how it is. It's a each one teach one situation. And that's why when we go back to SBC, it's something that I easily, gladly did and hope to do in the future, because it's important to share that game that you got, to help other people with their craft and to improve in whatever walks of life that they choose to go into.
And how is the Knicks Fan TV, starting it to now, like improving whatever it is, editing, interviewing skills, podcasting. It's always just trying to get better and improve at it, whatever, you can try to achieve. So,
Yeah, well, I would say the key thing for our growth and to be able to scale is the talent that we brought on, and I've been blessed with talent who we didn't have to go out there and really look for. A lot of guys would DM us, send us messages like, hey, I do this. I'd love to join the team. I want to be a part of this mission. I love what you do. And so we've been blessed to have talent, whether it's our video editors, our graphic designers. Shout out KFTV Jalen. He runs our newsletter, our hosts from JD to Alex. CK2K is a guy who I've developed a relationship with for a number of years now. I mean, we've made content on the East Coast and LA and Las Vegas. Like, we're always connecting whenever we can. And so to team up with guys like that, it just contributes to the overall growth and the push of the platform, because everybody brings their talent, everybody brings their own perspective, and in a unique way. And together, it's magical, man. I just love working with those guys.
Right, I'm on Nick Twitter. I see you, Ritholtz, Ben Ritholtz. He's been on Jonathan Macri. Like,
Yep.
yeah, all those guys. They break it down well. And when you guys all come together on a show, it's just free flowing and natural. And it's at that point now, right, where you guys can talk whatever for hours.
That's just the strength of the relationship. If people go back to the origins of this channel, the early days of this channel, they would see Jonathan Macri, early days.
Mm-hmm.
They would see even before him, the host of the Knicks Film School, even before Jonathan Macri. Like, we have been building relationships and bonds with those guys from the beginning. When the 2019 draft lottery, when everybody was hoping the Knicks would get Zion, we collaborated on a watch party with those guys at Knicks Film School and the Strickland that was formerly Posting and Toasting.
The Strickland too, yeah.
And ESPN covered it. So they were covering the lottery, and they would pan over to New York because we had the best odds, right? So they would pan over to New York. It was at our watch party where they did it at. So that just to show you how far back we go. So yeah, whenever those guys come on, it's seamless. It's a seamless chemistry.
And that's why I love doing this stuff, man. Like interviewing you and getting to learn and understand new things. Like when you do those watch parties and stuff, it's just like talking sports with your friends and doing what you love, right? That must become so easy to you.
Yeah, community is the backdrop of it all. Even in the front, you see content and you see in interviews and podcasts and things like that. What we're building is long-lasting relationships with our viewers, with our fellow fans, because that's who we are. And everybody, just as a human nature, we all have a quest, or we all have interest in a belonging. We want to belong to something, right? Whether it's a group, it's your religion, it's whatever it is. We all have that urge to belong to something. And that's why behind the content, the community part of it is so powerful. So when we go to Philadelphia, we go to Miami, we go to Los Angeles, we meet up with a gang of fans. And some of these people have been traveling with us from place to place to place over the years. So it's very special in that way.
I want to wrap it up a little bit. I don't want to hold you that long, but do you have any advice for, aspiring kids, journalists who want to get into sports and how you kind of build a platform like you did?
Sure. Consistency. As I said, keep it consistent. Try to find your lane. Try to find your niche. There's a lot of content out there. A lot of people are making content. So you want to find that way. What makes you different? What makes you different? When they zig, you zag. And a lot of times what makes you different is just you, period. A lot of times people don't tap into who they are as unique individuals and bring that out to light. A lot of times we're afraid to do that, but don't be afraid to do that, because that is a separator between all of us. That's an easy separator. I'm not you, you're not me, right? And so we're already different in that respect. So bring that out. Bring your uniqueness, bring your differences out on camera, because that's an easy way off the rip to separate yourself and distinguish yourself from what would be perceived competition. Fail fast. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to try things and fail at it. But as long as you're learning from that experience, whether it's the data, whether it's, my quality wasn't good, my cadence wasn't good, my audio wasn't good, learn from it and try to improve in the best way that you can. And it's an iterative process. It takes time. Over time, you invest in your equipment. The next thing you invest in is your education, your knowledge. Like, just keep it going, because it all snowballs. It all snowballs. So that's what I would say.
Appreciate that. Thanks, CP. And, it's always good keeping in touch with you, and hopefully we could run it back in next summer league. One last Knicks question, because I was thinking about it. Who's going to be the fifth starter, you think, Hart or McBride?
It's a good question, man.
I want Deuce personally because
Yeah.
I think Hart should close. He's a good guy. You put him in like late game, brings the
Yes.
energy and stuff. But Hart's not a starter in my opinion. He filled in when there was injuries, but you saw a lot. I think Deuce is the perfect complement to Brunson in the backcourt.
Yeah, and Deuce could handle the opposing point guard assignments. He's a good 3-point shooter. At least he was last year. It's going to be interesting, man. I can't call it. You know for sure Hart is going to close. That for
Right.
sure.
That's what I'm saying. He should definitely be in that
Yeah.
closing lineup.
Hart will close, but hey, I would love to see Deuce McBride get that opportunity, man. He's a dog, and playing alongside Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, I
Right.
think he fit in quite nicely at the 2 guard spot.
And right, you have the two forwards and Bridges and Anunoby. So Hart, it would be perfect him come off the bench. And also, I don't know if McBride could. He struggled to run the offense a little bit in the playoffs last
Right.
year. I don't know if he's. We'll see, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fun season, man. I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm sure you're excited too. So,
Very, man.
um,
Very.
you following the Yankees at all?
Yeah, I'll be ready, man. I'll be ready for when they kick off the first round. It's October baseball. Both Mets and Yankees are in
Yeah.
it. So
Are you a
it's an
Mets or Yankee
exciting
fan?
time. I'm a Yankees guy. I'm
Okay, yeah,
definitely a
same,
Yankees guy.
same,
Yeah.
same.
So we'll see if they can exercise some demons. I'm not so
Yeah,
sure, but let's hope
yeah,
maybe Soto,
yeah.
Johnson, Stanton, come up with a heroic run here and really lift them over the top.
Right. Especially if Houston and Baltimore, they can get knocked out today, so that would pave it the way out. Houston's their kryptonite. So,
Exactly.
uh,
Exactly, man.
thanks, CP. I really appreciate it. I know you're busy, man, and love to keep in touch.
Yeah,
So,
Alex, no problem, man. Anytime. Good luck with everything you're doing,
thank
and
you.
let's do it again.
Appreciate it. And I would love to, I run the SBC account on Instagram or help do it. I'd love to do like a collab post or something, maybe with
Yeah,
the asking
whatever.
about it
Just
or my podcast account. I'll send you it. We could
yeah,
do some short
send it
clips
to me and send me the finished product. We'll
for
put it up
sure.
and drop links
Appreciate
to
that,
your
man.
pod so we send people over
Awesome.
there.
Thanks, CP.
All right, sounds good,
Appreciate
man.
it.
Have a good
Yeah.
day.
Yeah, you as well.